So an electric Cadillac Lyriq, only $65,000. And you get to charge it every 300 miles for 45 minutes. Wow, what fun on a road trip that'd be with your great-grandparents, because that's who buys Cadillac today. But that's not why we're here on a Sunday, right? Hello and welcome to the Sunday Rant. Oh, it's so hilarious today already. This is Mark and it's Trucking Answers. So you may have seen this accident this week. I don't know. So let's talk about it. In Illinois, there was an accident with a Greyhound bus. And I don't know how many people on there were headed to orientation at their mega fleet. But what happened is the Greyhound bus is going and he hits semis that are parked. What the police said was on the shoulder. So this is at a rest area. And so as you come back on, people tend to park beyond where they should park. And the bus hit them. Now, what, in my opinion, what actually happened is the bus, this is what I think happened. I have no idea if this is true. This is just wild speculation, which I'm not above doing. The bus driver, this is like, what, 1, 2 in the morning? Falls asleep or dozes off or is not paying attention and drifts over the line slightly, just a little bit. And trucks, which are parked illegally, according to the police, he hits them and rips the bus open. What, a few people died and a bunch of people went to the hospital? Now, if this would have been a city bus in Chicago, it would have been 273 people at the hospital. But this was not. So, and I shouldn't really make that much light of it. A bunch of people died, and that's not great when you're just trying to get somewhere on the bus. So, what is happening, somebody from OIDA, Louis Pugh, I think, I'm not sure the person's name, that might not be the right person. And I generally agree with them, came out and said, well, you know, this is a problem that there's no parking. So drivers have to park, are forced to park in areas where they shouldn't park. No, you know, this cannot happen. And they did comment that where they're parked was illegal. We cannot excuse behavior because there's no parking. We can't say, well, because there's no parking, I'm going to park illegally and unsafely and possibly be involved in an accident. Now, people shouldn't hit you when you're parked, certainly, but you also shouldn't be parked where you shouldn't park. I've never liked, I've always said, don't park on these ramps. It's just ridiculous. And Mark, where are we going to park? That's the thing of it. Companies are never going to help you find parking. Like I always say, there's a lot here in Lafayette they could pay. They could pay for spots here and have all these parking spaces, but they would have to pay. They're never going to do that as long as you're willing to do things that are illegal. It's got to be the only industry where we as drivers are willing to break the law all the time, no matter what, for our company. And then when something happens, the company for sure would say, hey, what are you doing? Now, I don't know if any of those drivers had a dash cam or Lytics or one of these other goofball systems on there. It'd be interesting to see what the video would that be. It could, of course, only be forward facing. That'd be okay. To see exactly where they are parked. But you can geofence this off. This is not hard to do. I can geofence where this car sits and get an alert if it goes beyond the fencing. So companies know where their trucks are. And hopefully the hammer gets involved in this again, because this is something else that needs to be taken care of at that level, where the company says, okay, so you're going here, here's parking. It's bad enough where they go, here's where to park. Especially if you go, there's no parking, the company should figure it out. It's their truck. All right, it's their freight. They make the money, and then you take the risk. And now these drivers, the police are investigating where they're going to be charged criminally. Okay, 1 minute you're asleep, the next minute you're in jail asleep. So, I mean, that's not great. And it's because they made that choice. Don't ever let anybody, OIDA or anybody else, tell you that it isn't your choice to park there. You park on that ramp. Okay, well, Mark, there was nowhere to park. Stop earlier. Then, well, Mark, and here it is. We won't get paid. I won't make as many miles. Exactly. You're not paid properly. The pay forces you, wallet-wise, into parking at these places. And isn't right. And hopefully that comes up in the case. That comes up to say because of the way the company does it, they are responsible. Now, for all I know, these are owner-operators. All I've seen is like basically drone footage. So I don't know, and it didn't seem like there's anything on the trailers. So I don't know if these are company trucks or if these are owners. Look, it's a problem either way. They may get criminally charged for parking there because of what happened. They parked, and so therefore, and of course, right, I'm not a lawyer, so this is not legal talk. It's just Mark talk. But they may get charged. They said they're investigating. And believe me, there's going to be a lawsuit against Greyhound, and there's going to be a lawsuit against those drivers that are parked there. And probably the state for having people park there and not booting them out, because they don't boot them out. The police should go through there every day and boot people out of there. Beyond the sign that says no parking past this sign, there's always 40 trucks. They're all out 2 miles down the highway parked. It's just not safe. People in the middle of the night are not paying attention. They're asleep. They're doing all kinds of stuff. It isn't safe. And I feel bad for the people that died, of course, because you're just trying to paid your $19 to take the bus across the country, and look at what happened to you. One day you're all excited you're going to be going to some large mega carrier. The next day you're dead. I don't like it, but I'm not going to blame anything other than us. When we don't take any action as drivers to make anything change, and then we don't have anywhere to park, and that's why. There's all kinds of parking. Not rest area parking, but there's parking. And I know somebody's going to say, well, Mark, but when I drive into town, they're not going to pay me. Exactly. Right. That's another problem. Get paid by the hour, and then if they had a place 4 miles of town, you have to drive you get paid to drive to it, and get parked and run legal. Simple as that. But until we take some kind of action, nothing is going to change with this kind of stuff. It can't just be flapping our lips and just talking about it. You got to say, look, because there's no parking and you won't find me parking, I'd ask them, find me parking. Oh, that's for you to find. Well, now I got to park at 4 p.m. instead of 8. So I need 2 days. But, until everybody does that, other drivers are going to just go up there and park wherever. It just got to change. And until we take action, it won't change. And I'm sad for these drivers and the people that died, because everybody's blaming like this. And where you park is your choice. How that truck runs, everything that happens to it, once you're in charge of it out there on the road, is you. 100%. So do not run illegally or unsafely and use some kind of lame excuse of pay. Don't take a place that pays you like that. Don't work there because of that. They're making you do it because of your wallet. So you don't want to lose hundreds of dollars a week. All right. So that's it. And we'll be back soon with another Trucking Answers.